Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Monday, November the 4th. The year's 2024. Let's talk trading. Weekly open and gap with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ for mine and differ for Walmal's. And as a friendly reminder here, always have your risk management in place. Never lose more than you're willing to lose on any one single trade. So taking a look at the week, we can see there's a bunch of gaps that have not filled, the pound being one of them. And we had a 50 pip gap on the pound. Not sure why that happened. Right now we're right at the weekly open here at 129.69, 30 off the high and 24 off the low. If we take a quick look at the monthly, we're 70 pips above the monthly open, now 71, 31 off the high, 84 off the low, and you can see we are inside the candle body of the previous month. We're putting in the opening range for the week. We are inside the opening range for the month, with the opening range for the month high being 129.80. We're 10 pips below that. For the yearly, 258 above the open, 464 off the high, and 671 off the low. Inside bar traders, we had an inside bar on the last trading day, which was Friday. And you can see the top of that range is 129.80, which also happens to be the I believe that's the opening range for the month. 53 pips.
The month started on Friday. Yeah. Started on Friday, so it should be, right?
Yeah. We got 53 pip range at the moment. We've got 4 pairs over 100, but I don't see any real correlation. We've got the Euro Australian dollar, the Euro New Zealand dollar, the pound yen, and the dollar yen. So I'm not sure why those pairs have moved like they've moved. You're right here at the sitting right on top of the weekly open at 129.70, about 1 pip above it. As you can see, we've been crisscrossing that weekly open for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Range is not large enough for the rats, so we'll just have to wait and see. Bambino Flex indicator says to short. Price near R1 says to short, and we're right near that R1. We haven't hit the weekly pivot, and we haven't hit the daily pivot yet. And so we're about 42 pips above the daily pivot at the moment. We're about 35 above the weekly pivot. And we're about 74 below the monthly pivot. So we got some pivot action that we might be able to take advantage of. We're inside the previous trading day's upper wick zone. Once again, we're hovering right around that weekly open. And we haven't broken out of the high or low of the previous week, so nothing really interesting as far as the smart ranges go. Walmal, what do you see out there for the traders?
Well, right now I just see market that's very range down, which doesn't surprise me because they're already starting to talk about, what is the Fed going to do in terms of the next interest rate? Are they going to go and leave it the same, or are they going to go and, do another rate cut? They're talking about, a 25 basis point or a quarter point. That's kind of what the street is saying. it's going to be. But this Fed's been all over the place, so it may have been something else. So maybe some people are sitting here just trying to digest that news, because that was the news that went across the wire this morning. That was the big thing everybody was talking about over the weekend and on all the weekend shows here in the States. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. It's just no real movement. I mean, when we got 50 pips, something like that range for the day, you know, and it's back to that compressed type of movement. We went through a number of days there where we had some really nice movement days, lots of travel during the days. You know, it's easy to make money during those days because, well, actually, I'm going to take that back. It's easy to go and get into trades on those days. It's easy to lose money on those days, just as easy it is to go and make money on those days. So, depending on which side of the trade you have been sitting on.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I'm sitting in a trade. I've been in a trade now for a half hour, you know, just waiting for it to move, and I'm guessing it's going to go up, but I may totally be wrong about that. And you know, sitting here and sitting on my hands, and it hasn't dropped down low enough for me to get out, get stopped out. On the other hand, I was up for a little bit, but it wasn't by very much. So we'll just have to sit here and wait. I don't like this type of trading, but because it's not my style, but I'm in it, so I got to go and deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's I'm sitting here right now. I'm looking for a long, but I'm underneath the indicator too. You know, and it's sort of like, well, that's not a good place to be. Unless it runs back up to it, right, crosses to the other side, which, you know, good chance that it will, but I don't know.
Like, I'm playing the looking for a gap fill, so on the runs up, I'm looking for a reason to short.
At some point, if this doesn't pan out pretty soon, I'm just going to say, scratch the trade, take a small loss, look for another opportunity, because I don't want to be, you know, if it's doing this, I don't want to be caught, you know, as they say, with my pants down, because all of a sudden some type of news event happens. I do know in the equity markets, there's a lot of news coming out this week in terms of where we are in terms of profit. So yeah, we had a huge surprise on Microsoft on Friday. It was one of the biggest drops that Microsoft had. Yeah, I don't remember the number of days, but it was a huge number of days, and not number of days, number of years. And so is that going to happen again? I don't know. And just looking at the week in terms of news itself affecting FOREX, there's nothing red today. We do have some red news tomorrow, but that's all being driven by the election in the U.S. for presidency, Senate, Congress. And then we have lots of red news on Thursday. Nothing on Wednesday, lots of red news on Thursday for the pound, starting at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Friday, there's basically no news again. So it's a very light news week, except for the elections. And depending on who gets elected, I think that's going to go in a huge effect on, you know, where this market goes, you know, whether it be up or whether it be down, depending on whatever candidate actually goes and wins. And more importantly, where does the Senate go? You know, because that can have just as much of an effect, if not more of it.
Yes, it can. That's for sure.
Just one other thing I wanted to go and check here real quick. So I haven't looked at it yet. I'm going to go and check the equities market. I haven't checked it this morning yet. I'm sitting there setting up a new machine, so I'm not really trading. I'm in a trade, but I'm just playing around with it and getting things set up. But the futures right now, we're down on the S&P, we're down on the FedEx is down, the NASDAQ is down, the Russell is down. The only thing that's up is oil and gold. And crypto, for those people who follow that, it's another situation where Bitcoin is up, you know, and most of the other cryptos are also up, but it's up. I think we're sitting there at 68,500 for Bitcoin. Last week we were sitting at 73. So even though it's up in the day, it's off from last week.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, Gio, where do you think this market's going in the long term?
Well, I think we need to close that weekly gap. You know, it might just do a run down and a run right back up to do it. I don't know. That's what I'm seeing.
Right.
But
you know, just be a bounce off the bottom of it, you're saying?
Yeah, that's what it could do. Just go down there to sweep.
Sweep out any stops that are down there, sweep out any TPs that are down there, grab up, as they say, as our order block folks like to say, grab up some liquidity.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You can go and run it up.
Well, yeah,
That's not a bad play.
Yeah, there's a lot of people standing right there on the pier waiting for the ship to come back. They missed the boat.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. They're sitting there holding the paper.
Yeah.
That's all they got is the paper.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, this looks kind of interesting. We got a 3-ball. You might be able to do your flip-flop box or lower high trade down here, or 2-bar, bar two, not 2-bar, but bar 2 trade.
Yeah, I think we will be able to do that. And if you look to the left of last hour, the low from last hour was at what? Something along the lines of, what is it? Can't read it. 63 even.
Yeah, well, that lower high trade's worth 2.6 pips at the moment, 2.9,
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
3.9, 4.
Believe it or not, I'm going to get out of this trade right now because I'm actually up. So I did go and I jumped in down there. Come on, go back above that. Get back above the 70.
Oh.
I was doing too much talking, not enough trading.
Here you go. Let's see what happens here. This is right at the daily weekly open.
Turn that. By the way, I don't know if people have noticed or not, but right here we've got the H4 open, the weekly open, the daily open. You know, obviously the hourly open. It's just everything is lined up right here at this spot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at break even right now for my earlier trade. Now I'm in a little bit of profit. I'm looking to get, if I get back up to the 74, that'd be great. Come on. Every time I'm about to get out, it goes and jumps back down on me.
Yeah.
But that's trading. You got to time it. Sometimes when you're doing this type of trading where you're only trying to grab a pip or 2 or 3, you know, you got to line things up.
Yeah, and it's funny, we're almost out of time, but one of the things that I was working on last week was only taking trades on the 1-minute chart. It has to be in the wick zone of the previous candle, because once again, price doesn't like staying in the wick zone, and it just sucks if you're getting the midpoint. So, fellow traders, Always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One.